Judge Judy Movie Analysis 2025, Episode 13650, Best Amazing Cases Season 2 to 5 Part 1. Are you ready to witness personal tragedies laid bare under the harsh light of justice? Welcome back to Judge Judy Movie Analysis 2025, where we not only review the cases, but also dissect the psychology, motives, and hidden truths behind every testimony and action of the litigants. Today, we delve into Part 1 of Episode 13650, Best Amazing Cases Season 2 to 5, a compilation of astonishing lawsuits ranging from post-breakup property destruction and defamation to severe urban traffic accidents causing serious injury. All are handled by Judge Judy with absolute shrewdness and extraordinary human analytical skill. Prepare yourself for a long and riveting journey where every minor detail carries profound significance, and where blinding rage is paid for in dollars and cents. Case 1, Smith v. McCarthy, The Tragedy of Youthful Fury. The first case, Case 13650 Smith v. McCarthy, immediately draws attention as it presents the issues of property destruction and defamation following a tumultuous breakup. The plaintiff, 19-year-old Jennifer Smith, is suing her 23-year-old ex-fiancé, James McCarthy, for destroying her property, throwing her engagement ring into a lake, and slandering her reputation. Judge Judy began by confirming their broken engagement. Following the split, Jennifer Smith accused James McCarthy of taking some of her belongings, vandalizing others, and discarding the engagement ring. She listed the damaged items, including a smashed TV, a broken wall clock, and various other personal effects. I perceived palpable distress and emotional damage in Jennifer Smith's testimony, not just over the property, but over the betrayal of trust in the relationship. Regarding the TV, Jennifer Smith stated it was exclusively hers and she purchased it, but Judge Judy immediately questioned whether James McCarthy had contributed any money to its purchase. Jennifer Smith firmly asserted that he had not contributed. This detail is crucial because Judge Judy always seeks to establish clear ownership before ruling on damages. Moving to the engagement ring, Jennifer Smith claimed $1,195 for the ring that was tossed into the lake. Judge Judy inquired about the ring's actual value, and Jennifer Smith specified it was a diamond ring bought from a jeweler named K Jewelers, a detail that lends authenticity to its value. When Judge Judy asked how much she paid for it, Jennifer Smith couldn't recall the exact price and seemed slightly flustered. She merely remembered buying it from K Jewelers and affirmed James McCarthy completely destroyed it. This ambiguity about the precise purchase price could slightly diminish the judge's faith in the $1,195 figure she requested. James McCarthy, the defendant, was invited to present his side. He claimed he didn't throw the ring into the lake. He merely threw it away somewhere in a fit of rage. Judge Judy immediately corrected him, emphasizing the difference between throwing it into a lake and throwing it away. But regardless of the act, James McCarthy admitted to intentionally disposing of property, thus establishing fault. Judge Judy directly questioned James McCarthy about the other property destruction allegations, such as the TV. He insisted he did not destroy any of Jennifer Smith's property. He offered a clumsy explanation, suggesting Jennifer Smith was so angry she destroyed her own property and blamed him. This was a poor defense strategy that only made him appear irresponsible and untrustworthy. Jennifer Smith presented photographic evidence of the damaged property. Judge Judy examined the photos, which included images of a damaged kitchen set, a tablet, and the damaged TV. The judge asked about the TV again, and Jennifer Smith reiterated it was hers alone. James McCarthy tried to resist, saying Jennifer Smith could have bought all those things herself, but Judge Judy interrupted, asking him specifically about the broken wall clock. James McCarthy had no explanation, only repeating his weak excuse that he didn't do it. My assessment is that James McCarthy, in the youthful rage and frustration of the breakup, acted impulsively and intentionally damaged the property. His defense was entirely inconsistent with the photographic evidence and demonstrated a severe lack of emotional maturity. Jennifer Smith also accused James McCarthy of slandering her reputation. She claimed he sent emails or messages to her friends and relatives, stating she had cheated on him. Judge Judy clarified that slander must be a false statement that harms one's reputation. Jennifer Smith asserted James McCarthy falsely claimed she had stolen money or robbed him. Judge Judy honed in on this detail, asking James McCarthy if he said Jennifer Smith took his money. James McCarthy flatly denied it. However, the narrative took a critical turn. Jennifer Smith admitted to taking $100 from James McCarthy without permission. Judge Judy immediately viewed this as a serious weakness in Jennifer Smith's case. This act, regardless of its purpose, undermined her integrity and credibility. Judge Judy concluded the property and slander dispute. She ruled in favor of Jennifer Smith for the property damage claim, including the engagement ring. On the issue of slander, Judge Judy dismissed the claim due to insufficient clear legal evidence of a false statement that harmed her reputation, especially since Jennifer Smith admitted to taking $100 from James McCarthy without permission, an act that self-sabotaged her position. Judge Judy delivered a candid lesson to both. She said they both acted like children, but James McCarthy was the greater offender for willfully destroying property. She concluded, "Adults don't do these things." This was a fair judgment, focused on behavior and consequences, forcing James McCarthy to pay the price for his lack of impulse control. Case 2. Landlord v. Tenant, the unlawful lockout. Beyond emotional conflict, the complexity of human relationships was further revealed in the next case, a short but intricate dispute between a landlord and a tenant. Plaintiff, a landlord, sued defendant B, tenant, for rent and security deposit money. Plaintiff demanded a large sum from defendant B, including back rent, the security deposit, and other repair costs. Defendant B, a woman, countered, claiming she owed no money. She testified that she left the apartment to poor and unacceptable living conditions, including issues with insects and mold. Judge Judy focused on the detail of plaintiff having intentionally changed the apartment locks. Plaintiff admitted to changing the locks immediately after defendant B moved out. Judge Judy stressed that this act was illegal and unacceptable. Judge Judy ruled in favor of defendant B and dismissed plaintiff A's claim. She clearly explained that regardless of whether defendant B owed rent, plaintiff A's action of changing the locks without a legal eviction order constituted a severe violation of due process. My viewpoint is that a landlord's self-help eviction is always a critical legal mistake. Judge Judy delivered a fair judgment that not only resolved the money issue, but also sent a strong message about the importance of adhering to the law as a landlord. Case 3. Case 413, the rear-end collision. The conflict escalated onto the streets in the third case, a traffic accident, Case 413, where Plaintiff C sued Defendant D for damages to her car. Plaintiff C, a woman, asserted Defendant D had backed his truck into her car. She detailed the accident, emphasizing that Defendant D reversed without looking and caused a strong collision. Plaintiff C demanded that Defendant D pay for the repair of the damaged wheel, body, and other parts. Defendant D, the truck driver, attempted to defend himself. He claimed the accident wasn't entirely his fault, suggesting Plaintiff C had stopped in an unsafe position or moved her car at an inappropriate time. He also attempted to minimize the extent of the damage. Judge Judy focused on the damaged wheel detail. Plaintiff C presented photographic evidence and a repair invoice, affirming the wheel was warped from the impact. Judge Judy asked Defendant D if he agreed about the wheel damage. Defendant D evaded the question, saying he was only responsible for minor damages. Judge Judy perceived Defendant D's lack of honesty and evasion of responsibility. She stressed that if a truck backs into a car, the damage cannot be minor. She demanded to review the detailed repair invoice and requested both parties provide evidence of the car's positions at the time of the accident. After reviewing the evidence and hearing the conflicting testimonies, Judge Judy delivered her ruling. She believed Plaintiff C's account, based on the logic that a truck carelessly backing into a stopped or slow-moving car must bear the majority of the responsibility. Judge Judy ruled in favor of Plaintiff C, forcing Defendant D to pay the full repair costs. This judgment was not just about money, but a stern warning about the importance of careful driving, especially when operating a large vehicle. Case 4. The unwritten loan. Dishonesty was not limited to physical collisions, but that also permeated financial agreements, as seen in the fourth case, a complex dispute between two friends or business partners. Plaintiff E sued Defendant F to recover a large sum of money. Plaintiff E claimed the money was a loan given to Defendant F to help with his business or a personal matter. Defendant F strongly refuted this, claiming it was not a loan, but a gift or a risky investment. Defendant F stated that Plaintiff E agreed that if the business failed, Plaintiff E would lose the money, or if it succeeded, Plaintiff E would receive more in return. Judge Judy demanded written evidence of the loan agreement. Both parties admitted that no formal loan contract was signed. This was a huge mistake, and Judge Judy immediately pointed out the lack of professionalism and financial naivety of both parties. Plaintiff attempted to introduce some text messages or emails as evidence. However, Judge Judy deemed these messages insufficient to constitute a legally binding loan contract. She emphasized that if you lend a significant amount of money to someone, you must have a clear, signed agreement detailing the repayment terms and interest rate. Judge Judy posed a sharp question to Defendant F. Why did he accept a large sum of money without a clear agreement? Defendant F weakly replied that he trusted Plaintiff E. Judge Judy criticized this naivety. Judge Judy ruled to dismiss Plaintiff E's claim. She explained that due to the lack of clear written evidence of a loan, the court could not compel Defendant F to repay the money. She concluded that Plaintiff E had knowingly placed himself in a risky situation and must be responsible for his decision. My opinion is that this case is a costly lesson on the importance of legal documentation. In business and large financial transactions, trust cannot replace a contract. Case 5. Case 458 Parking Lot Bicycle Accident. The carelessness in action, not just finance, continued to be evident in the fifth case, Case 458, a heartbreaking bicycle accident in a parking lot that resulted in severe injury. Plaintiff G sued Defendant H. Plaintiff G, a woman, asserted she was struck by Defendant H, who was driving a vehicle, in a parking lot. She described the accident as quick and forceful, leading to her fall and a serious head injury. She sought compensation for medical expenses and for pain and suffering. Defendant H, the driver, attempted to minimize his responsibility. He claimed he wasn't driving fast and that Plaintiff G had moved into his lane. He insisted it was an unavoidable accident. Judge Judy immediately demanded a review of the medical evidence. Plaintiff G presented detailed medical invoices, including costs for the head trauma and related medical procedures. Judge Judy noted the severity of the injury. Judge Judy asked about the extent of Plaintiff G's head injury. Plaintiff G stated she suffered persistent headaches and insomnia. Judge Judy asked Defendant H if he had seen these invoices. Defendant H admitted to seeing them, but continued to offer excuses. Judge Judy emphasized that a parking lot is a low-speed environment, and a driver must exercise a higher degree of responsibility toward pedestrians and cyclists. She criticized Defendant H for his lack of attention. Judge Judy ruled in favor of Plaintiff G, forcing Defendant H to pay the full medical costs and an additional sum for pain and suffering. She explained that the evidence of the head injury was undeniable, and Defendant H must bear full responsibility. My view is that Judge Judy consistently prioritizes the safety and health of the injured party. This case is a warning that even in a parking lot, careless driving can lead to grave consequences. Case 6. Landlord v. Tenant, Wear and Tear. Finally, the conflict in human relationships returned to petty but bitter disputes in the last case, a brief conflict between a landlord and a tenant regarding property damage to fixtures. Plaintiff I landlord sued Defendant J tenant for compensation for interior damage, including a stained carpet and scratches on the hardwood floor. Plaintiff I demanded a large sum for replacement or repair. Defendant J countered, claiming the damage was due to normal wear and tear or was pre-existing before she moved in. She stated she cleaned the apartment thoroughly before leaving and that Plaintiff I was attempting to profit from her security deposit. Judge Judy requested Plaintiff I provide photographic evidence and documentation proving the condition of the apartment before Defendant J moved in and after she left. Plaintiff I presented photos of the stained carpet and scratched floor. Judge Judy examined the evidence closely and inquired about the age of the carpet and floor. Judge Judy stressed that a landlord cannot charge a tenant for the full replacement of old property. She explained that some wear and tear is inevitable during a tenancy, and the landlord must absorb this cost. Judge Judy ruled in favor of Defendant J and dismissed Plaintiff I's claim. She concluded that Plaintiff I failed to provide sufficient evidence of damage exceeding normal wear and tear and attempted to use the opportunity to upgrade the property in Defendant J's deposit money. My opinion is that this is a common landlord-tenant issue, and Judge Judy once again protected the tenant's rights against the greed of some landlords. Analysis and prediction. Having witnessed all these behaviors and testimonies, I cannot help but infer their subsequent fates. Based on the character evidence exposed, I believe James McCarthy will learn a costly lesson from the judgment to pay damages. This fine is not just about money, but a penalty for his blind rage and property destruction. He needs to learn to control his emotions and resolve conflicts rationally instead of with physical violence. However, I predict it will take him a long time to truly mature. As for Jennifer Smith, being questioned by Judge Judy about her $100 theft will be a blemish on her character record. She learned that integrity is the most crucial factor in a courtroom. She won the compensation, but she lost respect for her actions. I predict she will be more cautious in relationships, but also more suspicious, an unfortunate side effect of this toxic relationship. Defendant H, who caused the bicycle accident, paid a heavy price for his carelessness. Given the severity of Plaintiff G's head injury, I believe Defendant H will face a greater degree of fear and caution when driving in parking lots or crowded areas. I predict Plaintiff G will need a long time to fully recover, and the compensation, while fair, cannot entirely offset the physical and mental anguish. The greedy landlords in the lockout and property damage cases will continue to face legal difficulties if they do not change their behavior. Judge Judy sent a clear message. Legal procedure must be respected, and landlords cannot profit from normal wear and tear. Regarding the money dispute without a contract, I believe Plaintiff E will never lend a large sum of money again without a legal document. He lost the money, but in return, gained a priceless lesson on the necessity of contracts. Finally, through episode 13,650 Best Amazing Cases Season 2-5, we witness personal tragedies and moral failures. From James McCarthy's blind aggression post-breakup, Jennifer Smith's unethical behavior, to the carelessness of drivers and the greed of landlords, it all returns to one major lesson. Character and truth are always most clearly exposed when money and emotions are placed on the scales of justice. And honesty is the foundation of every relationship. Judge Judy has once again affirmed the importance of personal responsibility, the necessity of written agreements, and zero tolerance for property destruction. Do you think Jennifer Smith's $100 theft significantly diminished her integrity in the eyes of the court? And will the judgment to pay compensation be enough to change James McCarthy into a more mature person? Leave your thoughts and analysis in the comments below. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Judge Judy Movie Analysis 2025 channel to continue exploring our in-depth analyses of life-changing cases. Thanks for watching.